UFC 288 just took place, and Henry Cejudo is now thinking about retiring. We're going to talk about Henry Cejudo and should he retire? That's a question we're going to be answering today in just a second. I do want to say before we get into the video, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk Henry Cejudo. So I will start by saying I did think Henry Cejudo won the fight. However, the rounds, like rounds 1 to 3, were so close. Like they were a toss-up. I can't be mad either way. I just thought the last 2 rounds went to Henry Cejudo, and very well, rounds 1, 2, and 3 could have went to Sterling, okay? No matter where that decision was going, I was like, oh my god, that was a close fight. It was a great fight, and that's where I do want to start because Henry Cejudo's thinking about retiring, and something that he did mention in his post-fight interview, of course, is he kept repeating, if I'm not first, I'm last. I had the goal of making history. I wanted to recapture the title. I wanted to beat the hype train of Sean O'Malley, and I know it's not exactly a hype train, but you get the point. And then he wanted to go up to be the first 3-division champion and fight Alexander Volkanovski. I did not think any of that was going to happen, but that's the reason I was cheering for him. That's the goal that he had in mind. He wanted to make history. If he can't beat Aljamain Sterling in this division, what's the point of him fighting? That's his mentality right now. And I kind of agree with him. It seems like after all the money that he's made, the dude is set for life, and I believe he was coming back just with that goal in mind. Like I totally believe him. So is it worth fighting a contender? I believe that he can compete. I think he lost like a little bit of a step, but that could have been ring rust because especially in the first couple rounds, he looked like his timing was off a little bit, but he just completely exceeded my expectations. In the build up to this, I was talking about the reasons why I thought Aljamain Sterling was going to win this fight, and the biggest reason was, well, first of all, if this fight took place years ago in Henry Cejudo's prime, I would pick him without a shadow of a doubt. But I was thinking, okay, Henry Cejudo was retired. He actually ended up taking time off. He had a kid. He got fat. He got a wife. It's not like he's been training this whole time. Yes, he's been coaching, but still, he hasn't been training like seriously. And that's why I believe Aljamain Sterling was going to win. Henry Cejudo surpassed all of my expectations when it came to that. He came in physically, he looked better than he ever has. He was more muscular, he was built, he was toned. I would have to go back and look whether or not he was actually, like, he was more toned than he used to be. But regardless, he was bigger. The dude was absolutely ripped and looked fantastic, and his speed was still there. Yeah, you know what? Maybe in the later rounds he got a little bit sloppy, but that was a grueling pace they sit on. A very, very grueling pace. And Aljamain Sterling is a very big bantamweight, so I can't knock him for that. He still looked fantastic, but the question is, can he compete with the rest of the bantamweight division? That's a big problem. A matchup that I was thinking about was him versus Merab. Like, would Henry Cejudo still be able to keep up with the pace of a Merab? But then again, nobody could really keep up with the pace of a Merab, you know what I mean? It's just matchups that I could see happening where it'd be interesting enough where I was like, Henry Cejudo can compete. That was the big question. I don't think he would beat Sean O'Malley. I don't mind his chances against Merab. But as you go down the division, it'd be interesting still to see these matchups. It's not like, oh, it's a 36-year-old Henry Cejudo who's getting older and he lost a little bit of his step. I think the bantamweight division would just destroy him. I don't think that. He proved that he could compete at the highest level, and he still has it. I'm happy about that, and he had a great performance, and I even do believe that he won the fight. Do I think that he could go up to 145 pounds and take on Volkanovski? No. Alexander Volkanovski is a different animal, and I think he would have a better chance of beating Israel Adesanya at a bigger weight. But in all seriousness, his goal still is to do that, and that's what he was talking about. Is it worth it? Is it worth coming back and perhaps losing another fight? Because this division, the 135-pound division, even when you get to the unranked fighters, it's a different division. This is the most talent-stacked division in MMA history. The guys unranked could come in and fight the guys at number 1, and it would be a competitive fight. It is absolutely insane how difficult it is to compete in that division. And one day, we're going to see Henry Cejudo. Let's say he does compete. One day, we are going to see him lose that step. It didn't happen yet, but the age is coming close, man. Like you said, I believe there was a statistic where it was only 2 fighters have captured titles after 35, and I believe were both of them Tyron Woodley. Maybe they could have been. It was something along the lines of that. Like, the percentage of people getting titles after 35 is so astronomically low. Henry Cejudo proved that he can fight at the top of the division, but for how long? And is it going to be worth it? Are you going to risk a loss if you want to fight guys like Merab? If you want to fight a guy like Corey Sandhagen, you might not win these fights, and then it will ultimately damage your legacy. His legacy's already been damaged a little bit by losing to Aljamain Sterling. He retired perfectly. The 2-division champ on top, unbeaten for years on that run. He retired perfectly, and it should have stayed that way. I don't think that he should continue to fight because how many fighters have we seen that are up there in age either come back or continue to fight so much longer than they have when they already had, like, they don't have anything else to prove? This is a very, very risky move if Henry Cejudo wants to continue to fight. Can he compete? Yeah, but I'm not so sure he's going to win any of those matchups because, again, the division is just absolutely insane. You want to look at the unranked guys, they are almost just as competitive. Everybody in that division is so great at what they do, and I don't want to see Henry Cejudo continue to damage his legacy. He's going to have to win like 3 fights in a row, and they're going to have to be good performances too for him to get another title shot. Let's say Aljamain Sterling is still the champion, because I would pick him to beat Sean O'Malley. And maybe like if you want to give Corey Sandhagen another shot after that, Aljamain Sterling already beat him. He can beat him again. I would pick Corey Sandhagen actually nowadays, but still, Aljamain Sterling could be champion, and there could be a lot going on at the top of the division. Aljamain Sterling could be going up a weight division. Henry Cejudo, by the time he gets another title fight, we could be talking like, and this is assuming that he wins his fights. We're talking like if he's like 39 years old. And then what? You're still going to have the same goal? Beat the champion, beat a number 1 contender, and then go up to the second division to beat Alexander Volkanovski? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he should damage his legacy anymore. I think he should just sit, chill, retire, keep coaching. That gym is absolutely fantastic. Do what you do best in that sense. Well, which is competing, but I guess you know what I mean. My point was he's doing so good at coaching right now. That gym is fantastic. Why not just keep doing that? Could have retired as the 2-division champion, stayed there, and just built that gym as one of the best gyms in the history of the sport. But I do respect him coming back to trying to make history again. And I do think he won that fight, especially if you want to get into the talking about the judgment in the last round. They kind of robbed history from him, just like they did with Volkanovski. Make of that what you will. But I want to know what you guys think. This is where I'll leave it up to you. Please let me know what you think. Do you think Henry Cejudo should continue fighting? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. I would love to talk about it there. And thank you so much for watching this video. On the screen right now, you will have more Clenbat videos for watch if you want to watch more. We're going to have prediction videos tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.